Sex, porn, love addiction is all about self-soothing to manage your emotions. It got set up back in the childhood development years. It's just not about sex. It's not about porn. It's all about the repeated use has set up the physiology to crave those dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, self-manufactured drugs in the body. It's impacting women, men, children aged 10 to 75 across all the age ranges, the sexes, the cultures, the professions. It increased exponentially during COVID lockdown and impacting so many lives. The Kairos Center has created the first online comprehensive sex, porn, love addiction. It's a video on demand recovery program which you can access from anywhere in the world and begin to see identifiable changes just within 6 weeks of beginning this weekly program. Kairos means your appointed time. Isn't it your time to reclaim your life? Bring color back to life without shame. Click the link below and begin your journey. You owe it to yourself and to others. Pinches and crunches, which relationships experience at various points. Now, I need to set the scene for you to best understand pinches and crunches, and what I want to do is introduce you to you. Let's call the female Jasmine. Let's call the male Jake. Jake just represents the male in the relationship. Jasmine represents the female, you, in the relationship. Here you both are. And what I want you to understand is this, and everything I'm going to say about Jake, about Jasmine, applies to each of you. So I'm going to put one of them down in a while. But what I want you to understand is we are born into this world, and as we come into this world, I call this brain the hard drive. It has no data on it when you're first born and we come into this world. But we're going to start to grow you up. Remember, each of you are born in different parts of the country, perhaps. It could even be in different parts of the world. Very different cultures maybe, but certainly very different families that you are a part of. So let's put one of them down. And let's talk about this brain. This brain representing that hard drive with very little data on it when you first come into this world. We're going to grow you up to become the young child that moves to become the teenager. And let's take it up to, say, puberty. And as you're growing up, this brain is starting to acquire lots of information. But I want you to recognize the information that's being deposited on this brain is coming into the brain as experiences coming from the 5 senses. Not just what you're seeing with your eyes, it's also what you're smelling, what you're touching, tasting. All the 5 senses are being used to acquire new information. But remember, as a newborn, developing, growing up, you've never lived on this planet before. You've never smelled that first particular smell before. Touched, tasted, seen, smelled that experience. It's a first time. And that's the point I want you to understand. This brain is accumulating a lot of experiences that are becoming firsts, first time. firsts become hardwired on this brain. They become templates that are going to shape the next time you smell, touch, taste something that is similar to that smell, touch, taste. So if we work with the ones that become more problematic in our life, there are going to be experiences, particularly that the eyes are seeing and experiences, like conflicts, maybe between our parents, that causes some upset, some distress, bullying, for some childhood sexual abuse. All sorts of negative experiences can end up in this template, even if you had a really good upbringing. It could be the lack of availability of parents at a time that you particularly needed them. And you see, when the brain experiences discomfort, however that discomfort comes about, and don't compare yourself to another sibling, because you've got a unique personality that's evolving, a unique characteristic traits that's going to be evolving. What affects one child, let's give you a twin, may not affect you, but may affect twin number 2, and vice versa. So don't compare. And the point is, when the brain experiences some negative things in life, it learns to build layers of protection around us to avoid that experience ever hurting us again. I'm speaking so much in the unconscious because we don't know this is happening as a process. Multiply that by lots of different negative experiences. And that's when I pick up this. Recognize one of these? They've got different terms, different things people call them. I'd call them the Russian doll. What I want you to think about is, inside of this Russian doll is a inner child, you. You see, the brain learns to build layers and layers of protection around us in order to guard against that negative experience ever happening again. And so I might ask, stand up, the real you. Which one is going to stand up? Is it obviously not this one anymore so much, but is it this one? Or is it this one? Or is it this one? Or is it this one? And I can go on and on. I'm going to see if I can do a balancing act now, but you get the point, don't you? There are, and this is only a few of them, of course, there are all these different people inside of us. And each of them is us, but which is the real authentic us? Often we don't know the real us. And of course, this relationship counseling therapy program is about helping you to possibly find the real you. And on that journey, begin to understand some of the templates, scripts that got set up in your life, often as a way the brain sought to protect you from hurt again. And of course, when you then practice out and play out those scripts that were working for you, seemingly working, in the family of origin that you are a part of, they become habit, they become patterns, they become neural pathways. And when the brain detects a situation that feels like the past, when a similar situation hurt you, then of course you're going to respond to that situation. The point is, all of us acquire coping strategies, patterns of behavior, and they seem to work in the family of origins that we were born into. But you entered a relationship with another person who did life very differently over here. And so as you come together, you're going to have two individuals carrying very different ways of doing life that worked in their respective families, and you're now seeking to blend together those different ways of doing life. Can I represent it with this? Send me a message. It's time to get your relationship back onto a better footing for your future. Let's do some work without shame and bring colour back to life. Send the email, send the message to me, Gary McFarlane, at the Kairos Centre, and let's begin to reclaim your quality of life.